What's up, Queens? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Whatever time you are watching this, what's up? I am so glad that you have came back to this awesome series that I have titled Tips on How to Win at Sex. Listen, we have been having, I think, one of the best girl talks. Any talk that I have about sex or any talk that we have about healthy sex, shall I say, I think are some of the best talks ever because it is talks to help us get our hearts right, to help us be healthy inside and out. And so, a little recap. If you don't know what we've been talking about throughout this series, we've been talking about this sexual integrity. Okay. And that basically means being honest with your body, your sexual acts, the things that you're doing sexually. Most people who are watching this, if you're single, let's just say that if you're a single woman, meaning you're not married and you're having sex of any kind, then you are not living a sexual integrity or a life of sexual integrity. That means you're aligned with your body because God created sex to be within the beautiful covenant, the beautiful committed relationship called marriage between a husband and a wife, okay? Sex is an act of commitment. And when we are having any kind of sex outside of that committed relationship, we are lying to that person, we are lying to ourselves. Because there's two parts about sex that I want us to really remember. It's the act of becoming one with one another, to becoming one and being committed. Okay, when you're having sex with yourself, you're not two becoming one. You're actually lying to your body because sex is not meant for yourself. It's not meant for you to engage in selfish pleasure, but it's meant to be shared with a partner, with your spouse. And then commitment. Okay, when you are having sex and you are not committed to that person, you are essentially saying, I'm committed to you with my body, through the sexual act, but you're lying because you didn't commit with them or to them in your life. And the reason why it is so important to live a life of sexual integrity is because when you don't get anything out of sex. When you're having sex, just because it's pleasurable, doesn't mean you're getting the best out of it. Doesn't mean you're getting anything out of it. Basically, what you've discovered is that your body works, and that's it. That's it. That's all. And that's not what God created sex to be, just two people humping. Dogs do that. But he put so much beauty. He put intimacy in sex. Okay, he put intimacy in sex. And intimacy is basically to open up your entire heart, to open up your entire self to a person or to God, But through sex, it's to a person. So you guys can know each other intimately and deeply. Intimately and deeply. And when you're just having sex outside of that committed marriage, you guys are not knowing each other intimately and deeply because that door has been closed. You blocked it off through this sinful act. In fact, you guys are like this. You don't know each other. And a lot of times what you see ended up happening is you guys go your separate ways. You argue a lot. It's kind of like a war. You think you know that person because you know what their private parts look like, but you don't know the depths of them. And you will never be able to because God has blocked off their heart to you. Okay? So last week, our last tip, we talked about identifying your idols. The tip was called Identify Your Idols. And I want to sit there for a moment because I know for a fact that I'm talking to this generation of young women. I live in this generation. I live in our culture. And the first thing I think young women gravitate to is a guy. And that is their first idol. Okay? Here's the thing. We are created for intimacy. We are created to connect on the most intimate and most deepest levels. But that first level of connection or that first intimate relationship starts with God. We are created that way. When God created humans, he put a GPS or a God positioning system within us, which is called the breath of life or the spirit of us. Every person has a connection to God through the breath of life. Okay, so that is to show us where we are to go, to our source, really, to get everything that we need, to keep living, to keep breathing, to keep everything. That is our first connection. But when you are not trained or when you neglect or basically, let's just say that when you neglect that first connection by default, because you were designed and wired for that intimate, deep connection, by default, you're going to go look somewhere else. Okay, instead of looking up, you look down or horizontally. You're going to look somewhere else to feed that deep need, that deep desire to be seen, to be heard, to be valued, to be loved. And most young women, instead of looking up, they look sideways, they look horizontally, they look on TV, they look at culture, and they let culture teach them what love is. They let culture, videos, music, pornography, their friendships, what they're doing, what their mom and dad did if they didn't have a healthy relationship to model, for you to see. They look all these places to fulfill that. And so they grab onto the first thing that they see or that they think that could fulfill them, which is actually a guy. And let me tell you, a guy cannot, and I repeat, a guy cannot fill that void that is meant for God to feel. A guy can never do that, no matter how fine he is, no matter how long you guys have been in a relationship, no matter how friendly he is. Because I've been down that road. Oh, he's a nice guy. He's a sweet guy. But yet it ended because he still could not fulfill that God-sized hole in my heart, or that God-sized void. Okay. So today I want to just sit and have a girl talk with you. It won't be long, but I want to sit and have a girl talk with you, heart to heart, queen to queen, because I wholeheartedly believe that's what many young women are struggling with, the idol in their life, which is a guy. What I said last week was that you have to identify your idols, because your idols are the ones that are going to be able to always get you out of your clothes to have illegal sex, to have sex, and to throw you off the path of sexual integrity. Why? Because most young women have sex looking for love, looking for intimacy. And remember, I just said you are designed and created for a deep, intimate connection, a deep relationship with someone, which is supposed to be God, okay? And because you are designed for that, you are always going to go to that source where you think you can get that, which is the guy that you're with, or the relationship, or just a guy. Let's just say that, your boyfriend. Okay, you're going to always go to him looking for that. So that means he's going to always get you out of your clothes. He's going to always engage in some kind of sexual act with you, and you're going to allow it because you're looking for that love. You're looking for that intimate connection. You have made this guy your God. You have made this guy your idol, which is a false God. Okay, a false God. And so this is something that I want to just talk to you and pull out of you, because this is the idea that we have. We think that it's going to get better. For some reason, I've heard this and I've said this, okay? I was in a 4-year relationship. I made a guy my idol. And for some reason, I was hoping, I was wishing it'll get better. Sometimes I didn't say it out of my lips, but I've heard other women around me say it'll get better. And the reality is, it never got better. It will never get better. This is what I want to talk to you very frank, very just plain, because we get stuck in these fantasy worlds. We get stuck in our mind. We have one-sided communication. We're telling ourselves it's going to get better, but it never does. And this is why it will never get better. It's because nothing goes right. Nothing goes good when you place anything in that position of God. It will never get better as long as you are putting this guy in place of God. You are called to an intimate and deep, intimate connection with God. And until you unhook yourself for that connection from all these idols, specifically this boyfriend or this guy, and connect to God, meaning, okay, I'm not going to put him before you. I'm not going to seek intimacy with him. I'm not going to have sex with him. Instead, I'm going to seek you. Until you make that decision, it will never get better. And I know that's rough. If you are one of those young women like I was, just desperate, crying out, I could feel it on the inside that it wasn't good, but I was still trying to hold on. I know how you feel. But I had to come to the realization, I had to be truthful with myself and realize it's not going to get better until I make that decision. And I'm telling you, Queen, forget what culture said. Forget what the songs are saying. They lie to you. Because reality is, you can't learn about love, sex, relationships from people who don't know about love, sex, relationships. If they didn't get their information from the source, from the one who created, from the one who is love, from the one who created sex, and the one who designed and ordained healthy relationships, marriage, you won't know the truth. They don't know the truth. So why are you trying to pull and extract information from them? You know what's going to happen is 14 years old, 15 years old, you're still going to be getting this information from this false source, from these people who don't know, and you're going to continue to do the same thing. 20, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 75, dead. And you'll never know true love, true intimacy. Is that the kind of life that you want to live, Queen? I pray to God that you said no. And let me just say, you don't have to live that kind of life. You don't have to. And so I want to say this, because some of you may be thinking, well, I'm not making this dude my idol, or I don't have that issue. Here's the thing. If you had a healthy relationship with your father, your earthly father, if you had all the money that you needed, if you were just in this healthy state, would you be with that dude? Think about that. Would you even be in a relationship with this dude? When I think about that question, if I had a healthy relationship with my dad, if I had what I felt that I needed, which was real love and affection and affirmation from a man, and a man teaching me how to value myself, I don't think I would have stayed in that relationship like I did. If I had a connection to God, true intimacy, I wouldn't have been having sex with that dude like I was doing, or with guys in my younger years like I was. That's a telltale sign that you are making them your idol, because if you had what you were looking for, you wouldn't even be going to them to get it. So what that means is you're looking to a lesser source to get something that comes from God. If you already had it from God, you wouldn't be looking there. So you are making them your idol. The only reason why you're holding on to that guy, to this boyfriend, the only reason you're holding on is because you feel like they're giving you something that you so desperately need. But I'm here to say, God is here to give you love. He's here to validate you. He's here to tell you that everything's going to be okay. He's here to tell you that you are enough, that you are valuable, that you're beautiful inside and out. He's here to provide for you, to teach you how to steward your money. So you don't feel like you have to depend on a guy or stay in an unhealthy relationship or have sex with a dude to get money. That's an idol. If you had all the money in the world, would you be in a relationship with him? Would you be talking to him? If the answer is no, he's your idol. He's your idol. And I want to hit that intimacy thing again. Intimacy meaning to uncover your heart, lay yourself bare before someone else so that they can know you deeply, intimately, thoroughly, and so that you can know them as well. Okay? One of the reasons why so many young girls start having sex so early is because they're designed for intimacy. And if you listen to my previous tips, God did put intimacy in sex. God said, man, this relationship that I have with humans is so beautiful. I want them to experience that with another human being. But he only put it in the boundaries of a marriage, in a marriage that's ordained by him. That's the only way you can really get intimacy, through sex. So what the enemy does is he says, okay, I know you're designed to be intimate. I know you're designed to be connected on a deep level. But let me get you hooked on a guy. Let me get you to have sex with a dude, because I know, the devil knows, that intimacy is within sex, but he also knows that there's no intimacy in illegal sex or sex outside of marriage, okay? Ordained by God. He knows that there's no intimacy, but he lies to you and says, oh, if you have sex with him, you'll get everything that you need. You know what I'm saying? You'll just be loved, and you feel loved, and you feel like he knows you and nobody else can know you or love you like he does. He gets you in this trap to keep you hooked, searching for this intimacy. Maybe there's intimacy in this sexual encounter. Every time I have sex with him, maybe I can get it this time, but you always come up missing. You always feel empty. He keeps you in this cycle, in this trap, so that you can never get true intimacy with God. Okay? He knows that if you stop having sex with old dude and turn your that connection to God, you will be fulfilled in every area of your life. He knows that. He knows that. So let me say, he's been lying to you. I want to talk to you. I'm passionate about this. I am. I want to talk to you. Okay? Identify those idols. Right now, I'm telling you, most of you who are watching this, who has a boyfriend and you're having sex with him, he's your idol. He's your idol. Yes. We identified your idols. Yes. But we're going to talk about how to dethrone that idol. How to dethrone that idol. And one of the things that you have to understand is that it's all about your belief system. It's all about how you believe. When you hear the word soul tie, basically what that means, your soul, you hear people talking about your mind, your will, and your emotions. Okay? Is the soul of a person. Yes. We talk about how our humanity, how we express ourselves, our hearts, that's the soul. Okay? Yeah. But biblically, and I've learned this from the Bible Project. Check them out if you want to start learning how to understand the Bible. But the soul is really the totality of you. When God created the first human, he took dust, which is the body, and breathed his breath into dust, which is the breath of life, and it became a living being. It became a soul. So you became animated. And so your soul is really the totality of you. Okay? Soul tied to someone, meaning you are tied, all of you, your body, your soul, your emotions, your mind, your spirit is tied to that person. Let me just say this. And soul ties are started by beliefs. They're started by what you believe about that person. And the devil lies to us. Okay? I bet you, this is the belief that I'm sure you're probably feeling or thinking. I can't live without him. I can't do something or I can't feel without him, or I can't be loved without him, or I can't feel wanted without him. This is how a soul tie begins. It's by a belief. And the devil wants you to believe lies, believe something unhealthy. Because if you believe these things about this guy, your boyfriend, that's called a negative soul tie, because it's based on lies. You are tied. You are in a relationship with this dude based off of lies that are, I can't live without him. He is my source of love. He is my source of intimacy. If I don't have him in my life anymore, then I'm not going to be loved. That I'm not going to feel wanted, feel loved, desired, that I'm missing something. That was what I was feeling when I was in that relationship with that guy for 4 years. Okay. I felt like if I was not in a relationship with him, then I was going to die, because I made him the source of my love, of my intimacy, of my value. He was my source. And if I didn't have him, then I was going to die. If I didn't have him, then for some reason I thought I couldn't make it in life. There's so many things that we're believing about this guy, which is based off of a lie. And we are tied to that person. Okay? But I'm here to tell you, I'm here to expose those lies, because the way that the first step to really dethroning that idol is understanding that you've been connected to him based on lies. You can absolutely live without him. Let me say this, because now I'm really speaking to the heart who's desperate, who's saying, man, I feel you, I hear you, and I believe you, but I just don't know how to turn away from this idol. Now you're desperate. Now desperation opens up your heart and mind for truth. You may not understand how to get free, but you're willing. And that's where God needs you. That's where God is going to meet you. Okay? Let me just break this lie down. Were you born with this dude? No. No, you were not. You were not born with him. Did you go to preschool with him? Grade school with him? Did you need him to do all that? Did you need him to graduate from high school? No. So here's the thing. You lived without him before. So what makes you think that you can't live without him now? You were living and breathing and thriving then. What makes you think you can't live without him now? Because here's the thing. God didn't put him in your life. Or let me say this. The way that you are connected to him, thinking that you can't live without him and you can't breathe without him and you can't be loved without him, that ain't God. God did not place him in that position in your life. So guess what? If you believe that you can't live without him, especially if a guy is telling you, now I'm talking about these narcissist people, these people who are sent by the enemy to try to hold you down and saying, you can't live without me. You ain't gonna be nothing without me. Don't nobody want you. Oh, that's straight from hell. He's speaking from the spirit of darkness, from the spirit of the enemy, because God would never put you in a position to depend on anything besides him. Okay? Let me just say, people die. People die. So God would never have you put in a position to where you have to solely depend on anybody. He's saying, put me first. He's saying, put me first. I am your source. I'm the breath that you breathe. I got the money that you need. I'll teach you. I'll provide for you. I'll give you the love and affection and the desires. I'll fulfill the desires of your heart. Okay? Nobody will ever be able to be there for you all the days of your life. Because here's the thing. People can't be inside your body. They can't heal your broken heart. They can't take anxiety and depression away. Because you with this dude right now, he still ain't taking it away from you. You still experiencing anxiety, depression, all those things, emotional downs and lows. You're still experiencing that. So clearly he ain't fulfilling your heart like you think he's supposed to. But people can't be everywhere you go. If you go to Mexico, if you go to Europe right now, people can't be there. You got to call them on the phone and say, hey, can you help me? Can you talk to me? Can you speak life into me? I'm just trying to break this down to show you people cannot be everywhere you are, and you cannot depend on people for the life-giving things that you need, which is love, which is affection, which is security. But God can. God is everywhere you are. God is everywhere you are. He heals broken hearts. He fulfills the voids, the emptiness in your heart. And let me just say this, okay? One of the main reasons why you even with this God, why you've made him your idol, is because you have voids, empty spaces in your heart that only God can fulfill. He can't fulfill those. Listen, I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to many, many hearts right now who have made boyfriends or guys their idols. Let me tell you, God is the only one who can fulfill those desires. So if you think that he is the only one that can help you, that can heal you, that's a lie. That's a negative soul tie. And the only way you can break free is if you believe the truth. Okay? Let me read this scripture to you. This is Acts 3:19, just to show you the heart of God. He says, repent then and turn to God so that your sins may be wiped out, that times of refreshing may come from the Lord. If you need refreshment, if you need a fresh wind, if you need, I see this kind of desperation or the condition of the woman's heart as if you're in a desert land and you need a cold glass of water. You're dying of thirst and you need to be refreshed. You know how that feels when you are just dying of thirst. And when you get that glass of water, like you are outside of the hot summer day and you get that glass of water, you feel like you can live again. That's what God is like. He is the only one that can bring times of refreshing. It only comes from the Lord. Okay, here's another scripture that I live off of. This is Isaiah 58:11. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land, and he will strengthen your frame. He will be like a well-watered. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. Because you are connected to the source, your well or your source of your connection to the source, your connection to water, your connection to refreshing will never die. Will never die. I haven't even got to the reasons or like really how to break free, how to dethrone your idol, because I'm appealing to the heart who believes that you can't live without him. I'm gonna have to make another part because this video is too long. I'm appealing to your heart. Yes, you can. And the enemy has been lying to you. He's been giving you this false sense of connectivity or this false God is saying you can't live without him. Yes, you can. And let me tell you, it won't get better. As long as you're making him your idol, as long as you feel like he is your source, As long as you feel like you can't live without him, it won't get better. Nothing goes well, nothing goes good, and nothing will go good for you as long as you are placing something in the place of God, especially the God, because this is what's going to happen. The only place that an idol can take you to is however far they're going, however far they can get. And humans are limited. So the heights of your life will be limited to where that God is. So wherever God is calling you to, whatever purpose he has for you, and let me tell you, when you connect to God, oh my goodness, he opens your heart and mind to things you could have never imagined, things you could have never dreamed of. Oh. But if you are still steady looking to a God, looking to a boyfriend for as your source, you're limited as limited could be. He cannot tell you what your purpose is. He cannot heal your broken heart, heal you from your traumas, heal you from the alcoholism that's in your family, the daddy wounds and the mama wounds and the low self-esteem. He cannot. He will never be able to. Even when you're married, a person cannot. But you gotta learn to connect to the source. You gotta learn to connect to the source. I'm talking to somebody right now who is dying on the inside. This is why I can't move from this topic. This is why I'm just stuck right here. Because I want to let you know, Queen, a boyfriend ain't gonna do it. Turn to God. Please. Do it for your life. Do it for the future of your children. Because some children are going to suffer from your decision, from this idol you have in your life right now. You think you're suffering. Your babies is going to suffer too. Your sins are going to they're not just going to stay with you, but they're going to travel to the next generation and the next generation, because you're teaching them how to make people an idol, how to make a man an idol. But you got to break free. You got to break free to teach your babies how to do it. Because let me tell you, I learned from my parents. The only way I broke free from making that dude my idol was that I turned to God. I said, you know what? I'm crying in this relationship. He's not fulfilling me like I need to. So if I'm crying while I'm with him, I might as well cry for the last time. Because here's the thing, I didn't want to break up with him because of the pain, the separation from that false idol. Because I thought, I can't get it from nowhere else. If I break free from my source, it's going to kill me. It's going to hurt me. But I took a chance. And I said, all right, God, if you are the God who you say you are, I'm going to put you to the test. Because I've been crying for 4 years. I've been crying out for 4 years. But if I could just break free, I believe that the pain that I'm going to feel from breaking free from this guy is going to be much shorter than the 4 years that I've been crying. Because once I can break free and I get to the source, you'll heal me. You'll heal me from the inside out. You'll give me everything that I need. You'll give me the daddy affirmation that I need. You'll tell me I'm beautiful. You'll show me my purpose. And let me tell you, it was the best thing I ever did, because I cried for 4 years, on and off, arguing, complaining, on and off. When I broke up, I cried. It hurt like hell. Let me just say, I cried for a couple of months. Maybe it took me about a good 6 months to really get through. But after that, I ain't cried another day of my life over no dude. And it's been over going on 7 years. When I say it's been the best 7 years of my life, because I hooked up to the source. Now I look to God for my affirmations. Now I look to God to be intimate with me. Now I look to God for my source of emotional healing. Like, he literally tells me everything that I am, everything that I need to hear. And it's the truth. And it's the truth. And I'm okay. I don't have to turn to a human being. I don't have to turn to a friend. I don't have to turn to my mom and daddy, my brothers and sisters. They're good relationships, but I turn to God because he's the only one that can satisfy me and fulfill my heart. It was the best decision I ever made. And it hurt. Yes, it did. It hurt when I turned from him, but I'll never have to feel that pain again. He fulfilled everything that I needed in 1 year after breaking up with that dude. In 1 year. And I was still trying to look for what I needed in him for 4 years. If I was still in that relationship, I was still almost 7 years. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That would be 11 years. Or let's just say 10 years. I'm trying to get my numbers right. Still searching, still looking. And some of y'all are in that same situation. It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years. And you still ain't got what you need because you ain't gonna never find it there. Queen, I plead with you Turn to God. How do you do that? How do you do that? We're going to talk about the steps on how to dethrone your idol. I'm going to have to change the title to this video. We're going to talk about that next time. How to dethrone your idol. Steps on how to turn from the boyfriend to God. Because this is a conversation that needs to happen. Queen, stay tuned, okay, on this awesome series, Tips on How to Win at Sex. Because the only way that you can win at sex is if you identify those idols and dethrone them. Until you dethrone those idols, you'll never win at sex. It won't get better. Ask your mama. Ask the young girls down the street, or the women on social media, or these celebrities that you following. You don't know the inside. You don't know the condition of their hearts. You don't know. Where there is no God, it ain't nothing good about it. Okay? Because people can be married to people and still make that man their idol. Where you don't have God, you ain't got no good thing. Listen, that's it. I'm going to stop right here. Come back next Friday, 1:30 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to release another tip, a tip on how to win at sex. So we're going to talk about how to dethrone these idols, specifically that relationship, because it has to be done. It has to be done in order to win at sex. Until next time, Queen. See you soon.